Antoinette and Tom and Mr. Ginn.
I think we lost you.
Okay, everyone, we're getting ready to go live.
Ned, I believe we've lost Mr. Joe.
You there? The meeting.
Okay, everyone, we're getting ready to go on live, so we lost. All right, good evening, everyone. My name is Antoinette Harrell. I am with Friends of Kentwood. We would like to thank you. And first of all, let me just welcome everyone tonight. Friends of Kentwood and George Hayes are pleased to present before you the candidates for Kentwood Town Council 2022 election. Each candidate will share their platform and vision for the town of Kentwood. If elected or re-elected, we welcome all our guests watching via live stream. Please allow me to introduce our moderators for the evening, Mr. Tom Tolar, a lifetime resident of Kentwood, construction manager at North Oaks, engineer officer with the Louisiana Army National Guard, the Tangipahoa Parish School Board member, District B, married to Stacy Tolar, father of two great kids, Seth and Darby. Mr. Tolar will present questions to the candidates seeking election. Mr. Bobby Ginn Jr., a lifelong resident of Tangipahoa Parish, he received his education in the Tangipahoa Parish school system. He is an entrepreneur and a business owner. Mr. Ginn is a community leader who have given back to the community in various ways. Mr. Ginn will present questions to the incumbent. Mr. George Hayes and I will work as timekeepers. We welcome everyone. Thank you. And I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Bobby Ginn, who would therefore bring forth the rules for tonight.
Good evening. Thank you, Ms. Harrell. We certainly appreciate you for having each of us, and you and Mr. Hayes for having this forum. We certainly want to thank each of our candidates, those both incumbent and those who are running now, for joining us and taking time out of your day. I certainly would like to say good evening to everyone. I know we've been a little busy before. We hadn't gotten a chance to speak to everyone, so definitely good evening. I'm Bobby Ginn. I will be the moderator who will be focusing on the incumbent candidates here who are rerunning. And of course, Mr. Tolar will be focusing on the new candidates who are seeking election for this term. We want to keep in mind just a few ground rules as we're beginning this event. Certainly any questions that we've received have come completely from the community of Kentwood. They are just concerned. They have certain questions that they wanted asked, and that's what we're doing today. The moderator will introduce the candidates. I will introduce the incumbent. Mr. Tolar will introduce the new candidates who are running. We want to keep in mind that our candidates will have 2 minutes to answer each question. Certainly, as Mr. Hayes mentioned, 2 minutes is more than enough time for us to get our point across. We want to be respectful of each candidate. We want to keep in mind that we're simply presenting the platforms that you may have and what you have to offer as a candidate for town council here with us. The moderator will be strictly enforcing our rules tonight simply because we want to keep time is of essence. We want to keep that at the forefront of our minds. And most importantly, we're not going to restate questions. I'm sorry, we're not going to ask follow-up questions, but we will restate it if need be. But those are just a few. And the last thing would be if we could keep in mind that we want to be sure that when others are speaking, our microphones are muted. and also to be sure to silence any cell phone devices, anything else that's in the area. Make sure we're in a quiet place so that we can be respectful and everyone can hear what's being said. Without further ado, I will introduce Mr. Tolar, and then we will go into beginning the forum. Mr. Tolar.
Thank you, Mr. Gann. Glad to see everybody here tonight. Glad that we see the interest is there. Looking forward to getting these questions asked. I'm new to this kind of setup as far as how we're going to ask this, and I would much rather us be face to face, but we can make this work. And then obviously the citizens that don't get to see it tonight can obviously come back and they can watch it at a later date. And I'm going to refer back to Ms. Harrell and ask her to help me as far as keeping the order, because I don't want to start with the same person every time. So if you will help me make sure that we're in the right order, and just call the candidates and then let me know when it's time to ask a question, I'll be glad to do it.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So I do believe that we'll begin at this particular time. We have our incumbents who are joining us tonight, Mr. Xavier Diamond and Mr. Gary Callahan. We'd like to thank you guys for joining us. Are there any other incumbents who are here with us that I may have missed? I was expecting Miss Audrey Winters. Is she on with us? Okay. All right. We're going to move forward. We'll start with Mr. Diamond. Good evening, Councilman Diamond. We simply want to question as to why you may be seeking re-election for town council here in Kentwood, Louisiana.
Thank you, Mr. Gann. That pretty much just to keep up on the work that I'm currently doing, to continue fighting for the citizens, and to continue to advocate for the things that our community need to continue to prosper and thrive. So I'm reminded of a great quote: "You got two kind of people in this world: talkers and doers." So I would categorize myself as a doer and one who is going to continue to be on the front line for our citizens so that we can get Kentwood where it needs to be.
Yes, sir. Well, we certainly thank you for your answer there.
Yes, sir.
If we can go to Mr. Gary Callahan, Councilman Callahan, who's currently holding a seat. The same question is posed to you, sir, as to why are you seeking re-election here in Kentwood, Louisiana for town council?
Thank you, Mr. Gann. I'm seeking for much the same reason. I've served 2 terms already. I'm getting better and better every year that goes by. It's a big process of everything you do in town, and we're improving the town. We've got businesses started downtown. The library is coming up. We've been working on that. I've worked through 2 administrations on that. And now we're finally getting the library open. We're trying to populate Main Street with businesses. Mr. Hayes has been a big help for everything. He's starting a business. We've got other properties down there we're trying to populate with successful businesses. We've just got lots of stuff going on in town. We've got property that we need to sell out by the interstate that's for sale. We need to find somebody out there. There's lots of little things we need to do. I also have a big pet peeve about the way the town is looking. We've been working at it since the hurricane. It's been a mess. And I want to get all that cleaned up. The parish has helped us, the FEMA has helped us, everybody's helped us, but the help has run out. And we're not able to maintain the street cleaning, the debris and all like we would like to. And that's a very big problem as far as I'm concerned. Somehow we're gonna have to find a way to get our burn pit open and to be able to dispose of this, keep the streets clean. There's also debris. We work with our dump people, the Amways, and they've been helping us, and they're getting a lot better at what they're doing. And we got to get the town cleaned up. Got lots of things. I've got plenty of experience, and I can certainly help the town. And hopefully I can continue to do so. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Certainly. Thank you, Mr. Gary, for your answer there. Mr. Tolar, we'll allow you to ask a question to the new candidates who are running.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Ms. Harrell, do you want me to just start? Do you have a list of do you want the new candidates to go through and introduce themselves first? or do you want to go right into the questions? I'm sorry, I didn't hear. You're still muted, Ms. Harrell.
Sorry, starting
Okay.
with Miss Nikki Carrier.
Ms. Nikki? Ms. Nikki, question number one, why are you compelled to run for this seat on the town council?
I've been in this town for 20 years. I have been in the community for maybe about 5-6 years now. And there's things that I see that I would like to make changes to or help make changes to. And it's one of those things I can sit and complain about it, or I could actually help do something about it. And I feel compelled that I could actually help do something about it. So therefore, things that I would like to see is I feel that the community is divided. I wouldn't say that there's a lot of tension, but it is divided. At one time, this community was together. People knew the families, you had friends, we helped each other. And now there is a divide, and I would like to bring that back together. Because without it, you are not going to get anywhere if the community is not together.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Irma Klein?
Yes, you hear me?
Yeah, same question. Why are you compelled to run for this seat on the town council?
If you would, may I please say something? If you
Oh,
all would
sorry.
keep your iPads on where we can see you, where you do not have to turn them on and off. So if you can stay visual, please do so.
All right, thank you. Ms. Irma?
Okay. Good evening to everyone. I am compelled to run for council because Kentwood is my life. Kentwood is my home. I was raised since I was born, and I worked in the city government 34 years. And after retiring, I have the time. I'm not employed, so I have the time that I can put into my town. I see so many things that need to be done. Our town needs cleaning up. We need better relationship with our council and our community, with our council and the city employees. And I would like to bring these things together. I see so many things that need to be done. We need to clean up our town, number one, so that we can attract new businesses and attract new residents. And I would like to work for my town because I have the time and I have the energy. And by me working in City Hall for 34 years, I have a good understanding of how our government works. And I would like to use my time to help
Thank
my
you, Ms. Irma.
community.
Stop.
Thank you, Ms. Irma. Same question, Ms. Yolanda. Why are you compelled to run for this seat on the town council?
I am compelled to run for this seat because I've worked for the town for 18 years and I know a lot of things that go on. And I am compelled to run due to the fact that we need to get our park together. We need to get the town cleaned up. I ride around town and this town is messed up. We need to get rid of these old abandoned houses. And I would like to see that done. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Lawson, same question. Why are you compelled to run for this seat on the town council?
Oh, I can't even hear him.
Mr. Lawson, can you hear me?
He's
Sounds like a
talking,
bad
but
connection.
Yeah, Mr. Lawson, one trick you might want to do is turn the video off and then just unmute it. And I would caution, we have some open mics too, so if you can mute your mics, that would help. But go ahead, Mr. Lawson. Why are you compelled to run for this seat?
Can you hear me? I can
hear you now.
Can you hear me?
No, we've got a bad connection.
Y'all hear me?
No, let me come back to you, William, and see if we can get a better connection. Okay, who else do we have on the list? Is Ms. Wilkerson?
Ms. Wilkerson?
Ms. Wilkerson, I ask you the same question. Why are you compelled to run for this seat on the town council?
Okay.
Please go to the next person.
I figured that my experiences.
Okay, Miss Harrell, who else do we have that I can put on my list? Because these are the only names that I have so far.
I will go ahead and put that in the chat room for you. Can I make a little announcement? When you're not speaking, would you please put your
I figured
mic
that
on mute?
my experiences and my
William, would you please mute yourself, please? And the question will come back to you.
Okay.
He doesn't, with his connection, he's unable to hear what we're asking him to do.
Right.
Antoinette, can you make me a host and I can mute this microphone for a moment?
Yes, I just tried to mute him too.
So Tom, another candidate who is on with us right now is John Williams.
Okay, Mr. Williams. Yeah, I see him now. Mr. Williams, I've got a split screen, so I'm not getting everybody in one picture. So y'all just bear with me while I get these names all straight. But Mr. Williams, back to the first question. Why are you compelled to run for this seat on the town council?
Because I have seen things that need to be done. And I think I have some good ideas for the town. And that I feel that when you're a town council, you're a servant of the people. And being that I have been serving this community with the youth for the last 10, 12 years. And I think our elderly and our youth need a voice on the town council. That's one reason I'm running, because I think they need a voice and just be a servant for the town to do what the town needs to be done.
Okay, thank you, sir. We go back to, is Ms. Wilkerson, is she a candidate?
Yes, she's a candidate.
Ms. Wilkerson, I'll ask you the same question. Why are you compelled to run for this seat on the town council? Anything? Okay. Then I'm gonna go back one more time, Mr. Lawson. You want to try and see if your audio's gotten any better, or? All right, go ahead. No, it hasn't. I tell you one thing. Mr. Lawson, go ahead and mute yours because it's not coming through. You may want to just try on a cell phone. It may do better, but right now we can't understand what you're saying. So am I missing any other candidates besides Ms. Carrier, Ms. Klein, Ms. Yolanda, Mr. Lawson, Ms. Wilkinson, and Mr. Williams? Do y'all know of any other ones that are online?
No, Tom, this is George Hayes. I don't know of anyone else that's online. It looks as if Ms. Wilkerson, now it looks like she's back.
Okay.
Ms. Wilkerson, could you please unmute yourself and tell us whether or not you can hear us? Can you hear us?
We can see that she unmuted. Yeah.
Yeah. She unmuted, but I still can't hear her.
Okay.
That connection.
Yeah.
Well, we'll keep moving forward, and if we can get her on the next question, we'll do that. But I'm gonna turn it back over to Mr. Gann for the another incumbent question.
I think that's a good idea, Tom.
Thank you, Mr. Toler. We appreciate it. We will go back to our incumbents. We'll ask Mr. Callahan a question. What items have you added to the town council meeting agenda this year? What items have you added to the town council meeting agenda for this year?
Oh, Lord, yeah, kind of caught me off guard on that. I hadn't added a whole lot. I've requested some. We agreed and talked with them before the meeting. But as far as actually putting the one on there, I don't know. I have put some on there. We have talked about the garbage and different things, but no, as far as telling you, I'm at a loss. You just caught me off guard, and I can't answer it.
Okay, thank you so much there, Mr. Callahan. Councilman Diamond, Mr. Diamond, if you could answer that same question for us, what items have you added to the town council meeting agenda for this year? Are you there with us, Mr. Diamond?
All right, I am now. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir, we can.
Great. All right, so pretty much personally, I have not added anything personally, but the things that we have wanted to talk about and discuss, those things have been on the agenda, the most pressing things. So when we come together and our mayor creates our agenda, a lot of our concerns and things of that nature are already communicated with our mayor, so he knows what things need to be on the agenda, and those things have been on the agenda, and we have been addressing all of those things that are relative to the town. So once again, I don't have a lot of personal things because it's not about Xavier Diamond. So it's pretty much about all of those things that is going to better the town holistically. So those things that the mayor come with to put on the agenda, that's the business of the town that we need to handle, and that's what we handle month to month for the town of Kentwood.
Thank you so much, Councilman Diamond, for your answer there and your response. Before we move forward, we would like to welcome Mr. Michael Hall to our meeting as a new candidate who's seeking election there in town council. Just to update you, Mr. Hall, you will be asked questions from Mr. Tolar. When your time comes, he'll certainly ask you. Just a ground rule, we're keeping our responses to 2 minutes, sir. But we certainly would like to thank you for joining us today. The last thing I would say is that we just please be sure that we mute our microphones when someone else is speaking.
Mr. Ginn, let me interrupt for a moment. This is George Hayes. Mr. Hall is not a current incumbent. He has served on the council before. So he's in the group of people that Tom will ask questions of. And if you said that, then I'm just reiterating, and I'm sorry. I do believe that Mr. William Lawson has now joined us as well. Maybe, Tom, when you get a chance, you could circle back to William as well.
Absolutely.
Sounds great. Yes, sir. And you did reiterate that for me. Thank you, Mr. Hayes. Mr. Tola, I will go to one more question for the incumbent, being that we only have two. That would just help speed things up a little bit for us. And then we'll allow you to, because you have a longer list than what I have, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, sure. Second question we'll ask Councilman Diamond. Third question, I'm sorry, is if reelected, will you make choices for the best interest of the town of Kentwood, or what will it take to get reelected? If reelected, will you make the best choices in the best interest for the town of Kentwood, or will you do what it takes to get reelected?
Thank you, Mr. Again. Yes, sir. Look, definitely. And my answer to that is pretty much very simple and simplistic. All right. If you look at it, I tell people all the time, check the record. All right. So I don't have to go on and on about it. I've been a fighter for the people. I have stood for the people, and I'm going to continue to do whatever it takes, if I have to do it all by myself, to get this community to where it needs to be. So I'm in it to win it for the people of Kentwood, and I'm going to do whatever it takes, which is necessary. Then I come to the table with a whole list of array of skills and knowledge to continue to work with everybody to get this town to where it needs to be. So as I've been saying on this whole campaign trail, I'm excited about it to keep the ball moving. Let's keep this train rolling.
Thank you, Councilman Diamond. Councilman Callahan, same question posed to you is that if reelected, will you make the choices that are in the best interest for the town of Kentwood? And what do you see that it would take to get reelected? You'd have to unmute yourself. I'm sorry. Thank you, sir.
Sorry. Absolutely. I'm here to represent the people. Everyone I talk to, when I give them my push cards and all, I write my phone number on it, my personal cell phone, and I tell them if they have any problem with anything to call me. If they have something going on in the town, a lot of time I go around and they say, well, y'all hadn't taken care of this. I hadn't heard about it yet, but now I have. So, then we can take care of it and I can help. I also tell them if they happen to lose that number, they can call City Hall. I've told the girls at City Hall, if anybody calls, want my cell phone number, give it to them. And I will answer the calls. I'm a businessman. It's my business phone. And when it rings, I answer it. And if somehow I can't answer it, they leave a message, I'll get back with them. But absolutely, I'm here. I've worked with the drainage board and different things, representing people. And the money that we have to spend is not our money. It's the people's money. And we are responsible for all of that. And we're there to use it to the best of our ability and to help the town progress. Absolutely. If the people, vote me in, I'll definitely be there to represent them 100%. It's not about me. You'll never see me doing selfies or doing anything, showing what I'm doing. I'd rather do mine quietly on the side and just get the job done. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Councilman Callahan. Mr. Tolar, we'll turn it back over to you for new candidates.
All right, Mr. Ginn, thank you very much. All right, as we stated before, each time I'll move down the list one person, so we don't have any favoritism there. So I'm gonna start with Ms. Irma Klein.
Mr. Tolar, before you do that, I'm going to ask the candidates again. If you would not leave your picture up, I'm going to have to ask you to leave, because that's one of the things that is required here is to follow the instructions.
Okay. Ms. Klein, question number 2. Within the last year, have you attended 3 consecutive town council meetings?
Within the last year, maybe not 3 consecutive meetings, but I have attended meetings, but maybe not 3 consecutive.
Okay. Ms. Yolanda, same question. Have you attended 3 consecutive town council meetings? Do I still have Ms. Yolanda?
Move on, please.
I'm sorry, I apologize.
Go ahead.
Maybe 2 consecutive, but not 3 consecutive, but I have attended more than 3 this year.
Okay. Mr. Lawson, let's try this one more time. Good to have you with us. In the last year, have you attended 3 consecutive town council meetings?
Oh, yes, I've attended a lot of them. I think I might have missed like 4 this whole year.
Okay. And then I'm also going to give you a few seconds to go back to that first question, since you have some technical problems. Why are you compelled to run for this seat on the town council?
I figured my experiences and the jobs I have had in the past would best benefit our town to make it grow and make it better.
All right. Thanks, sir. Ms. Wilkerson, second question. Within the last year, have you attended 3 consecutive town council meetings?
Good evening. First, let me just say I apologize for the mishap with technology earlier, but no, I have attended 3 consecutive, but I have attended via online.
Okay. And the same thing, since we had technical troubles, back to the first question, why are you compelled to run for this seat on the town council?
I'm compelled to run for this seat on town council because of my love and care for this town and wanting to grow and wanting to make a difference here. I've always worked, stepped forward and volunteering, putting my time and effort into different areas of the town to see change for myself, others in the town, and our youth, to help them have a voice, to put them on a bigger scale of seeing that they can make a difference. And I want to be that voice to help not only our youth, but also the people that I have the knowledge, experience, volunteering, and working to show that I can make a difference here.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Williams, within the last year, have you attended 3 consecutive town council meetings?
No, I have not, but I have been online looking at them. and I haven't been to 3 consecutive runs.
Okay. And then Mr. Michael Hall.
Right.
Same question for you. 3 consecutive town hall meetings.
Yes, I have. I've been to more than 3 consecutive.
All right. Thank you very much. And I'm also going to give you, since you were short with that answer, I will go back to the first question since you were not present, and I will give you that same question. Why are you compelled to run for this seat on the town council? To finish out your 2 minutes.
All righty. First of all, I just feel compelled to run because I bring, as it was said earlier, I bring experience from being a former council member for 4 terms. And while I was there, I had the ability to bring the people together in the community. And I like that what Ms. Career said is that the town needs to be together in order for us to grow. And I just got some things started on my previous terms that I would like to see finished. And I would like to be a part of the next council member.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hall. And I just want to congratulate everybody. That was a good round. It went pretty smooth, no hiccups. And let's
Tom,
continue that tonight so we can get through as many questions as possible. Mr. George.
Tom, we skipped Nikki Carrier on that last question.
You're right, because I got to go back to the top of the list. Good. And Nikki would get on to me if I didn't include her. So Ms. Carrier, within the last year, have you attended 3 consecutive town council meetings?
Yes, I have. I've actually considered attending more than 3. Reason why I started to attend the meetings is that I created a Facebook page, Keeping Up with Kentwood. I felt that since the newspaper died, people weren't able to get the information that what was going on in the town. Nobody, and people know me, so they would see me on the street and ask me, hey, what's going on with this? What business is coming up? I mean, they had all kinds of questions. So I created Keeping Up with Kentwood, and my first council meeting that I attended, I had typed it up because yes, we do have like Miss Antoinette Harrell or Councilman Cooper who do the live streaming, but a lot of people have internet connections, they're not good or whatnot. Sometimes it freezes up. I mean, you know, things happen. So I transcribe it, I type it out so they can read what's going on. And it was really a tremendous success that I've gotten back from that. And so far that page has grown to almost 3,000 followers on it. And that was within a year's time, which was pretty amazing. So I didn't stop. It was like once the ball started rolling, like I couldn't stop it. So I got involved and here I am today.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Carrier. Thank you all for the good round. And I'm going to turn it back over to Mr. Ginn.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tolar. Going into our 4th questions for our incumbent candidates, would like to simply ask the question, what is it, Mr. Callahan, that you can do to mitigate communication with the town hall or city hall? What is it that you can do to mitigate communication with city hall? Unmute yourself for me. You was getting ready to get started.
You know it. I'm not sure what you're talking about, the mitigating it. I communicate with them all the time, and I go into City Hall and with the clerks in there and speak with the clerks. I speak with the mayor. I say I'm not sure exactly what your question was about mitigating communication. Now, if people call me, I certainly bring that to the table and take it to the mayor, chief of police, or whoever. Usually I just go straight to the mayor because he's the head of everything. And but yeah, if anybody has a problem, that's where I would start and be their liaison to and their voice in City Hall.
Thank you, sir.
Hope that answers the question.
I believe that it would be okay if I did explain that to you. Yes. Basically making that communication more possible or less severe, less, with less tension.
I don't tension.
You've answered well, but just wanted to explain to you what that was. Thank you. Councilman Diamond, same question. If reelected, certainly what is it that you can do to mitigate communication within the city hall?
Hey, Ms. Again, can you give me a little clarification on your question?
I can only repeat it. I'll give you the same explanation that we gave to Mr. Callahan, making that communication less severe there in City Hall, making it easier. I guess we'd say that way, mitigate to make it easier.
So you said between the council and City Hall?
Certainly, City Hall itself,
Okay.
just all that's what's involved with City Hall, any communication that's there.
Well, I think one thing that we need that I have kind of asked for is to make that communication somewhat better and seamless. Is I think we need to implement some type of newsletter or something like that to know what is actually going on day to day. And I think our mayor was, had plans to kind of work on that so that we can know what's actually going on in City Hall day to day. So I think that will also help as well with keeping the council members abreast on a lot of things that's happening, because I think some of the biggest problem that we do have as far as when it comes to communication, a lot of things are not really heard of or not really a pressing issue until we get to the council meeting. So I think that will also help us out, keep the council members abreast on what is actually happening. I think if we can come up with sometime maybe bi-weekly or monthly newsletter to us to help keep us abreast, I think that will make our communication better.
Hey, thank you so much. I'm doing well. We'll turn it over to Mr. Tolar.
All right, thank you, Mr. Ginn. All right, this time we start with Miss Yolanda. Miss Yolanda, the third question is, do you have the time it takes to commit yourself to the task as town council? Miss Yolanda, are you still with us?
Oh, sorry about that. Yes, I
All right.
do have the time. I'm retired from the town of Kentwood, but I do have a job with as a child advocate, and I get off at 3:15 every day, but I have the time to commit myself to whatever the citizens need in the town of Kentwood.
All right, thank you. Mr. Lawson, same question. Do you have the time it takes to commit yourself to the task as town council if elected?
Yes, I do. Fortunately, where I work at right now, my supervisor, I told her what I'm doing, and she had told me if I need time off to be able to do stuff for the town, let her know, and she will give me that time.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Moderator, Mr. Moderators, I am going to ask for the final time for any candidate that is participating in this forum to please keep your lines open where we can visually see you. I'm going to ask the moderators, if they do not do it, would you please disregard their name? So far,
Okay.
I have gone in and out of it. It's Ms. Irma Kleins and Mr. William Lawson. Thank you.
Okay. Miss Wilkerson, same question. Do you have the time that it takes to commit yourself to the task as town council if elected?
Yes, I do have the time to work. My job is from 7:30 to 3 o'clock. I'm off. In the afternoons, I would dedicate my time to the town as a city worker. And if I'm not able to come into the office, I will also make sure my line of communication is done through email. And I am willing to work after hours to put any time in.
Okay. Mr. John Williams, same question.
Yes, I do. I have the time to commit to the city council because I work for the Kentwood Parish government, and my hours are from 7:30 to 3:30.
All right. Mr. Michael Hall, same question.
Yes, sir. I'm recently retired from Kentwood Springwater. I have nothing but time, and on my previous times there, the 4 terms before, I was in and out of the city hall, even as I worked. So having time to be into the business of the town, I have nothing but time. That is one of the reasons that I decided to get back in the race for town council.
Okay. Miss Carrier, same question.
Yes, I would definitely have the time to be a part of town council. Luckily for me, I work for a Cajun two-step right next door to City Hall. So it's close. If I need to get there really fast, I could just walk over there. Not to mention I live a block away from Town Hall. And at this moment, I'm already volunteering my time in the community as it is. I am a Kentwood Rotarian. I've been a Rotarian for 6 years now. We're always doing service projects and I'm always out and about. So yes, I would definitely have time to do that. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And then Ms. Irma Klein, same question.
Yes, I would definitely have time. As I said, I am retired and I'm not working, so I would have time to give to City Hall and to my town, whatever is needed for me to do to help my town.
All right, thank you. And with that, we have finished another round. I'm gonna turn it back over to Mr. Ginn.
Thank you, Mr. Tolar. Going back to Mr. Diamond, we're going to ask a question, our fifth question for the night. What forms of communication have you used during your term with the mayor and the town hall staff? What form of communications have you used in the past during your term to communicate with the mayor and the town hall or city hall staff?
Yes, sir. Thank you for that question. I have pretty much used definitely when I have a concern or something that I want to get across the mayor's desk. I've contacted City Hall. I communicate with our clerk through email, via email, as well as cell, and same with our mayor. So there's no issue there with the line of communication. So those lines are open, and as I say, you can always check the record and ask them. They know Councilman Diamond will contact them in any way that is possible.
Okay, thank you so much for your answer there, Councilman Diamond. Councilman Callahan, same question. What lines of communication have you used in the past during your term to communicate with the mayor and the staff of City Hall?
It's pretty much the same. Yeah, we call each other all the time, and we do a lot of texting and also by email. My favorite way is face to face with whoever I do. That's just the way I was raised. I'm pretty old school, but I certainly would text and email with the best of them.
Thank you so much, our incumbent candidates. We'll turn it back over to you, Mr. Tolar.
All right, thanks, sir. On to the fourth question. We will start with Mr. Lawson. What do you believe is the role of the town council in our community? What do you believe is the role of the town council in our community? Oh, you got to unmute, William. There you go.
All right. Role of town council, councilman would be to listen to the people and go forward and try to get things done to better help the town.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Wilkerson. What do you believe is the role? What do you believe is the role of the town council in our community?
The role of a town council in our community is to be serving for the people. The people are the ones who elect you in office, and you need to be there for them, to show them that you are willing to work for them, that you are willing to get out and try to get things done to advance the town, to be the voice, to go out to meetings, to go out and try to connect with different areas of communication, to bring things here. So as a town council member, you are there to serve the people and be that worker and that voice for them to get things done, to advance, to help the town grow, and to make it a better place for all, not just some, but all, young and older. That is my role, to serve.
All right, thank you. Mr. Williams, same question.
As Ms. Wilkerson said, the first thing is to be a servant for the people. And my thing is be honest, be transparent. In other words, don't hide nothing from the people. Make sure they know what's going on in the community and be their voice. That's what I feel like a councilman should do.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Michael Hall, same question.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Well, like you said, being a previous councilman, that's an easy question for me. But the most important thing about being a councilman and the goals are you got to be available to the people. If you're not available, then you cannot be a good servant. And that everyone that knows Michael Hall knows I've always had an open door policy on my home door where I worked, City Hall, my phone is listed. It's just the main thing that the people in this community want when they want a council person is to be available. And I have this mentality. I would never lie to one of my constituents for a vote. It's just not that important. So my most important goal is to be available.
All right. Thank you very much. Ms. Carrier, same question. Oh,
there I am. I'm sorry. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
I think the most important thing is being able to strive to improve the well-being and the quality of the community. Also being out there to meet the needs of the residents. You have to listen to them. You have to really care about what they feel. 9 times out of 10, you live in a community, you're feeling it already because you're probably having problems that they're already complaining about or have concerns about. And also as well as, just represent the local community the best that you can. Thanks.
All right, Ms. Klein.
First of all, I would have to consider myself as a public servant, and which means that I am concerned about Kentwood and the people of Kentwood. I'm concerned about the needs. I'm concerned about the condition of our town, concerned about what the town needs, and to be available and to be transparent to our citizens. They should know what we're doing and what we're doing to solve the problems that we have in our town. And also, I feel that I should be available to network with other communities, other mayors or other council members if needed, and also network with my representative and my senator if needed to solve the problems and come up with solutions for my community.
All right, thank you. And Ms. Callahan, same question. Make sure you unmute, Yolanda. There you go.
Okay. To be a voice for the citizens in Kentwood and to find out what they need and what they want, because it's not about what I want and the other council members want and need. We have to communicate with the citizens to find out what they want and what they need. And, get things going in Kentwood that need to be done, like get all this old trash, picked up and, get other things done that need to be done. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I'll turn it back over to Mr. Ginn.
All right, thank you, Mr. Tolar. Mr. Callahan, Councilman Callahan, question is, what line of communication will you use to communicate with the citizens of Kentwood? These are the people that you're representing. What line of communication will you use to communicate with the citizens of Kentwood?
Well, we have people that are doing that with Miss Antoinette and Nikki and Mr. Cooper. I'm not going to be trying to compete with them. I'm not a big Facebook guy, but I do communicate with them. I do talk to them and I make myself available. But as far as posting stuff and all that, it's just not who I am. I'm more intimate person that wants to talk to people face to face. Now I would promote and they talk about doing the newsletter and all, that would be a big deal for the town. I would love to have that. We miss our newspaper. When we had that, they could put the pictures in there and all. It's like Facebook, but everybody don't do that. You know, they would like to have a newsletter or some form that they could keep up with. Also, this is something we've talked about in the past. I want to put a electronic sign out in the front of the city hall where we could post things and events and all to make it more available. Just because you have a Facebook page, you may or may not get on it. And a lot of people do, but some of them don't. They'll be driving by and they say, oh yeah, you know, they see the sign up there and it alerts them to things that are going on. One other thing, I don't know how I got on it, but years ago I got on a texting service that Ponchatoula uses. And they tell you everything that's going on as far as in the town. If there's a water problem, a shut off of the water problem, or if there's an accident or road repairs or something, they give you a heads up on that on the text. That's a pretty neat thing. We could easily do that here too.
Thank you, Mr. Callahan. Certainly appreciate it. Councilman Diamond, same question. What line of communication will you use to communicate with the citizens of Kentwood, the people that you're representing?
Thank you for that question, Mr. Again. I think for me, it's simple. I can say in 3 words that will kind of describe my leadership, and that's an open door policy. And many people in the community, you can just ask around. I feel like that's the number one thing, a quality I would say that a good candidate has, and that's a listening ear. So it could be Facebook, it could be by phone, whatever it is, or whatever way you want to contact me. They know that they can absolutely do that, and I will make the necessary time to do it. Number one, the reason I would do it, because this is a passion for me, and this is why I'm in this, and that's for the people. So any way that they would like, any method they would like to use to contact me, use it. And that's just what it's about. So having a listener here, and I've done that. As I will say and continue to say, just check the record or ask about it.
Thank you so much, Councilman Diamond. Back to you, Mr. Tolar.
All right, thank you, sir. Question number 5. We will start with Mr. Wilkerson this time. Question number 5. What skills and experience do you have that you believe would be beneficial to you as a council member? What skills and experience do you have that you believe would be beneficial to you as a council member? Ms. Wilkerson.
Good evening. First, let me say thank you for the question. But as we speak about transparency tonight, I would like to be transparent in case no one didn't hear or ones was not online. The reason why my picture is up front is because I had an allergic reaction today. I was hospitalized and I'm home now, but if you were to see me, you could not recognize me. I had a reaction to my blood pressure pills. My face.
Miss Wilkerson, Miss Wilkerson, you
and
need
I
to.
can ask the question now. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
My experience that I bring to the town is that I have served and worked in this town for most of my whole life, even as a young adult on up until adulthood. My leadership skills in working in the educational department and also serving on the board for many different departments. I serve on a board for my sorority as well as my alumni association. My experience of working with others and learning how to process things and get jobs done on a professional and leadership role, and knowing that I am able to volunteer and work with others and have that open communication to show that I can be that listening ear as well as being an open-minded person to show those leadership skills. Because as being a leader and focusing on working for a town, it's not about it is a team effort. And I have those skills to show that I'm a leader of listening and working and learning. Thank you.
All right. Mr. John Williams, same question. I'm sorry, go ahead, Ms. Harrell.
Ms. Callahan has dropped off, so there's no need to call her name anymore.
Okay. All right. Mr. John Williams, same question. What skills and experience do you have that you believe would be beneficial to you as a council member?
One skill that I have that I'm a leader. I founded the Kentwood Youth Sports Organization 12 years ago, which mentors to young men through baseball in the summer that I do every year. And doing that taught me how to be a servant and how to help people in need. And that's one of my qualities, is leading and thinking on my feet.
All right, sir. Thank you. Mr. Michael Hall, same question.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Yes. My skill is my ability to bring people together, my negotiation skills, and the experience you have is by being there. Having been there for 16-year-old, the job that we seek as candidate is not a job that you can learn out of a book or out of any school. This is a job that it takes on-the-job training, and that means time. I have put the time in. That's why I think I would be a good candidate for town council for the town of Kentwood once again. And skills, another skill I have is having the skills to lead people, taking a task, not necessarily happening to be the one to finish it, but lead people in a direction to get a job accomplished.
All right. Thank you, sir. Ms. Nikki Carrier, same question.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, and look, at any time if y'all need me to repeat the question, I will. Just don't really need to read it 8 times for time purposes, but if y'all need me to repeat it, I'll be more than glad to. But same question, Ms. Carrier.
I guess you could say my skill would be being able to communicate and talk with people, being able to listen to them and be fair on how making decisions of a situation that may occur. As far as leadership goes, as I said earlier, I am a Kentwood Rotarian. Been a Rotarian for many years now. I have created Keeping Up with Kentwood Facebook page. So therefore I'm out in the community. I see people, there's a lot of people that I know you by face, but by not name, and vice versa. They know me by face and not by name. I also am co-organizer of the Kentwood Farmers Market, which is Kentwood on Main Street, with Mr. George Hayes. He and I organized that back in May, I think, and it's been a tremendous success. And what he and I are doing is we're bringing people to Kentwood. We're causing traffic to come to Kentwood. We have people coming from St. Helena Parish, Washington Parish. We have people out of Gloucester, Mississippi. If elected, I would like to have more traffic brought to Kentwood. The more traffic we have, the more things we can get for Kentwood. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Irma Klein, same question. Ms. Irma, make sure you unmute, please.
Repeat your question, please.
Yeah, what skills and experience do you have that you believe would be beneficial to you as a council member?
Okay. The skills that I have that would be beneficial. First of all, I was the town clerk, before I retired. And as I stated, I have 34 years of working. And when I worked, I had a passion for the people. It wasn't about them coming in there and just maybe paying a bill or asking a question. If they needed help, I was available. Secondly, I was a council member, not this term, but the term before, and I was able to gain a lot of experience on that level. And I work in my church where I'm connected with the seniors and the children, where I help people. And I just have a passion to help people. And the skills that I would bring would enable me to talk with our representatives and our senator, our parish leaders, and attend meetings if needed to see what we can do to get help in the areas where we need help.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Lawson.
Yes, sir. I would, my skill is to be able to see a problem and look beyond it and find out what would be best to fix the problem. I have seen the town when it was in its heyday and when it's really good till the way it is now. And where I work at and what I have done, I have been under a lot of pressure on pressure situations, and I'm able to go and do those problems with no problem at all to make everything better.
All right, thank you. And with that, that completes the round. I'll turn it back over to Mr. Ginn.
Before, if I may say, I would like to state for the record that Ms. Callahan posted in the chat that she had to take her daughter to the airport and she had to drop the from this forum. So for the record, I want to state that.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tolar. Moving forward, we're going to start here with Mr. Callahan. Question posed to you is, do you ever attend any parish council meetings? Do you ever attend any parish council meetings?
I have not. We do watch it on the internet. My wife pulls it up and we watch it pretty regularly. I am very close to many of the councilmen of the parish and have a good relationship with them. Most of the monies that we get through the town, or all of it, comes through the parish. Even the state money, when it funnels down, it goes through the parish. I understand that, and I do watch it to see what they're doing. We recently got something for us that we're working on, a pavilion down on Main Street, and that's on the last meeting, I think it was they passed that. So, but yeah, I watch it, but I physically haven't been in there. That's all.
Okay, thank you so much. Councilman Diamond, same question. Do you ever attend any parish council meetings?
Thank you, Mr. Ginn. No, sir, I don't. I have not. But I know who to contact if need be, or if anything arises where I need to contact them. But I do have a good working relationship with our parish president, as well as a few of the parish council members there. So if need be, I know the right people to contact.
Thank you for your answer. Mr. Toler.
All right, on to question number 6, starting with Mr. John Williams. Question number 6, what previous community involvement have you had in the town of Kentwood? What previous community involvement have you had in the town of Kentwood? Starting with Mr. Williams.
As I have stated before, I am the founder and the president of the Kentwood Youth Sports Organization, that I have been with the youth in the community for the last 12 years. And that's one thing that I do and that I like to do, to help the youth, because the youth need help.
All right, thank you, sir. Same question, Mr. Michael Hall.
Yes, sir. Good question. All righty. Well, as Pummels back over, I was president of the Tangipahoa Parish Recreational Dart Program some years back. I also served as president of the Four Kings Social Club. I've also been a head football coach for the Tangipahoa Parish North End football, baseball. I've been available in the community for as long as I've been here. So it's not hard to see Michael Hall out there lending a hand into any kind of endeavor. And I just previously a born again Christian. And what I get more joy out of anything is serving in the capacity of deacon of my church, which gives me the opportunity to entwine with the members of this community. So I stay involved. It's not just in recently, but I'm involved in just about everything that goes on in the community that I'm aware of.
All right, thank you, sir. And then Ms. Carrier, the same question. What previous community involvement have you had in the town of Kentwood?
Oh, I don't even know where to start because I'm so involved in everything. I attend all the council meetings. Just yesterday, they had the Kentwood homecoming, so I was out in the parade taking pictures to post on Keeping Up with Kentwood Facebook page. I'm also, we don't have a chamber of commerce here, so the businesses in town, they don't get the acknowledgement that they deserve, because I strongly feel without our businesses, we would be nothing. So I make a point to go around all businesses, do a little write-up on their business, and I post their pictures and post it out on Keeping Up with Kentwood. I also spotlight people. I do a little story. It's pretty much on the newspaper without being the newspaper, pretty much. Other things that I've done, of course, there's the farmers market that we do every third Saturday of the month. I am president-elect of the Kentwood Rotary Club this year. Next year, I'll be president. So we have a lot of projects that we want to do. For example, coming in November, we're going to hold a food drive, and all that food that we collect, we're going to give it back to our locals, which is right here. I would like to give it to the Council on Aging or the Kentwood Senior Center. I don't know exactly what it goes by, but donate that food to them, and what's left over, send it off to the food bank. I'm a chairman of the Christmas parade that we put on. And then also we're bringing Salvation Army to Sullivan's for Christmas to ring the bell for Salvation Army. So therefore we raise more money to give back to the community as well. So I'm pretty busy. I do a lot of stuff, pretty busy. Yeah, thanks.
All right, thank you, Ms. Carrier. Ms. Irma Klein, same question. Make sure you unmute, Ms. Irma.
Okay.
There you go.
Right now, I am very involved at my church, and I'm involved in the community with a good many seniors, where I listen to them and meet their needs if possible. And previously, when I was on the council, I was involved with a lot of things going on in the town. We were just getting ready to try to get the land. The library was trying to get their land for the new library, and the town was able to assist them with some of the land on Main Street. And I was involved in that. I went to Baton Rouge, to the Capitol, to attend meetings with our representatives also, and Miss Beth Marzell. And we were looking for grants for the park. I was involved in those meetings. I was involved in the parish meetings, the library meetings, whatever meetings that we needed to be involved in, I was there because I was available. And I did go with the mayor to these meetings to attend, to try to get help by our town.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Mr. Lawson.
Okay. I have done several community cleanups and been involved with them. And I've also have been involved with going through the town after some parades, cleaning up, and the trash that was left on the on the roads. But my main thing that I did was I got with the Senior Center Council, and they helped me redo the Christmas tree lights, some of the stuff of the Christmas tree lights that we see in Kentwood. I went and did all 75 of them, and they need to be redone now. And I've been talking to Mike Cazzaroni, and he's going to help me to get some other people so we can have it ready by Christmas, hopefully.
All right, thank you, sir. Ms. Wilkerson, same question.
Yes, can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah, the question is number 6. What previous community involvement? I'm sorry. Yes. What is the previous community involvement have you had in the town of Kentwood?
Some of the previous involvement that I've had in Kentwood and currently now, I served as the past president for the 4-H club. I was able to bring 4-H back to Kentwood. So we worked with the town cleanup day. We worked in the town of getting things done to help with water, giving out donations to people, and also giving the students a chance to see how they could work in the town. I also work with the Kentwood Moving Forward Committee. Some may be familiar with that. And what we did was try to bring things to the town with what we had. We had a white linen night for people to come out to and see and have a good time here in Kentwood. And also for the past couple of years, I worked with Mr. Eric Brumfield, who is no longer with us, but we started a program called Kentwood After School Enrichment Program. And that was working with students and their parents in the summertime. We would have an educational program for them to come to learn. They would get a STEM activity, math, reading, science, social studies, and also a media center. And that was done every summer. And we continue to work with that program through Southern University. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Good round. And I'll turn it back over to Mr. Ginn.
All right, thank you, Mr. Tolar. Going to Councilman Diamond with the question as to what are 2 major things that you have accomplished in your last 4-year term? What are 2 major things that you have accomplished in your last term, 4-year term?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Again. Look, I'm trying to think real quick. I can say, most importantly, what I have feel that I have accomplished, most importantly, is bringing those things to the light for citizens who have been for quite some time, I would say, not say afraid to do so, but kind of a little timid when it comes to speaking about the issues that really matter. So I think I have done a great job with bringing a lot of things to the forefront as far as the necessary steps that we need to take with moving our town forward. And to be totally honest with you, a lot of the things that I have advocated for, it's been a tough battle, trying to get those things done. And and I tell the community all the time, keep in mind, it's a team effort with everything. So the mayor has his agenda with the things that he wants, and sometimes it may not be what the council wants. So it's just a whole lot of things that we just got to continue to work together on. But personally, the things that I came in with, my biggest thing was beautification, parks, recreation, program. So I'm still fighting for those things still today. And if reelected, I'm going to continue to fight until it happens. So that's what it takes.
Okay, thank you.
But excuse me, Mr. Moderators, for the sake of time, would you all please stick only to the question that is being asked? Only to the question. If it's a simple yes or no or whatever it may be, please, for the sake of time, we need to move forward.
Thank you, Ms. Harrell. Councilman Callahan, same question posed to you. What are 2 major things that you've accomplished in your term as a town councilman there in the town of Kentwood in the last 4 years?
I'm kind of like Brother Xavier. We've accomplished a lot of different things, but the main thing that I've been working on and still haven't finished it yet is trying to get money for the parks for Martin Luther King Park, for the playground equipment, and to continue doing that. There's also money that we've got coming in for other improvements, as well as Main Street projects where we're doing the pavilion down there. Can't really take credit for that. Mr. Hayes has done most of that, but I have been following up and working with that also.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to go to one more question before we turn it back over to Mr. Tolar, just so we can hear from our incumbents again. How are you planning to involve residents in the decision-making process in your tenure if reelected? And that'll be for Mr. Callahan. How are you planning to involve the residents in the decision-making process if reelected?
Well, just as I said, I give every citizen that I run into my cell phone number, and I tell them that they're welcome to call me anytime. So when they have something to say, they certainly can call me directly and talk to me, call or text. Other than that, when we have meetings, it's posted, and I certainly want to give them the time and the opportunity to say what they want done, and we'll certainly listen to them. I'll meet them privately. If they want to meet at City Hall or meet at their house, I'll go anywhere to meet them. And when people have problems or issues, if they let me know, I'm more than happy to work with them and to take care of it.
Thank you, Mr. Callahan. Councilman Diamond, same question. How are you planning to involve residents in the decision-making process there for the town of Kentwood?
Thank you, Mr. Again. I would say, most importantly, we need to continue to push for I would say a top-notch social media platform. We need to do that. I mentioned the newsletter, and a lot of these things I've already, kind of talked about with our current administration. Personally, I will continue to do what's in my power to continue to inform people, but I've been kind of pushing the mayor administration to kind of get with the times on a lot of those things, and a lot of that is going to come through all of our social media platform and those newsletters. We currently do not have a newspaper, so I think that we should, and I've talked about it, come together and decide how will this look, how will the format look, but let's try to get something out. It could be monthly or something to that nature to send out to our citizens to let them know what is happening in our community. And it has to be something that we're going to continue to do and keep doing it, and not just start and stop. So that's what I'm going to continue to be an advocate for.
Thank you, Councilman Diamond. Turning it over to you, Mr. Toller.
All right, thank you, sir. Question number 7, we'll be beginning with Mr. Michael Hall. Question number 7, based on what you know about the town government, what do you see as a top priority and why? Once again, based on what you know about town government, what do you see as a top priority and why? Mr. Hall.
Thank you, Mr. Toller. Top priority is we have, just as they said, I say we, it's a habit, but we have got some funds through federal pipelines. And I would like to see that some of that fund, if not all, be put towards some of these projects that's already there, but has been somewhat put on the back burner because we're sitting and we're waiting on somebody to give us something to move it to the next step. Well, the town has been blessed, and I don't want to give figures, but it's been blessed with a pretty good figure of funds that I think can be used towards some of these projects. Mainly, we just had a meeting about the handicap accessibility here. I can't help but say some of that money could be used for sidewalks, mainly going down 38, because I see people going there on wheelchairs and whatnot, even the walking handicap. That sidewalk right there between the car wash and Sullivan's Groceries is horrible. It's an accident waiting to happen. That's some of that funds that we got, and I think that we can use that. Another thing that I would like to see is take some of that funds and let's get this recreational, big, beautiful facility back there, but it's not being used. Again, for the same reason. We are sitting waiting on somebody and hoping with thousands of other people that's in the same situation that we get funds to take it to the next level. Let's use some of these funds to do that. If it's no more than put a sign where people can see where it's at. That's something. We have some funds and we need to start using them. Let the federal government and state government see that we are using what we have, and then they'll be more inclined to say, let's give them some more to push them on over the hill.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Hall. Moving up to Miss Nikki. Same question. What do you see as a top priority and why?
What I see as a top priority is our sewage and drainage systems. I, for one, there's a broken culvert out in my ditch that has yet to be fixed, and it's been out there for quite a few years. I have brought it to the attention, but nothing has been done yet. There is another major water leak right in my ditch that is just, it looks like a natural spring in my ditch because water is just bubbling up. When it rains, it looks like I have oceanfront property, and it goes over to my neighbor's yard. It's a mess. And then in the sewers, you can see in the street, the sewage is just bubbling up. Something has to be done. I would like to see the drainage out here to be cleaned on a regular maintenance, if it's every 3 months or something, but stay on top of that. And I know our maintenance supervisor is strapped. He's out there by himself. He doesn't really have that many employees or certified employees for that matter. But I really think that this town needs to start with the maintenance department first, because this is, if we need to operate in a cleanly town, we need maintenance taken care of. We need to have our own trucks. Like Amy, for example, they have a maintenance form, and yeah, they have multiple employees out there, but they have their trucks. They can go around and pick up all this debris. And if you come around where I live,
thank you, Ms. Carrier. Time's up.
Oh yeah,
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
2 minutes goes by quick, I know. All right, Miss Irma Klein, same question. Top priority for the city.
The top priorities. Oh.
Are you still
Can
with
you
us?
hear me?
Ms. Irma? I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. The top priorities that I see are, first, we got to clean our town up. We need to get rid of the trash and stop depending on the parish for everything that we need picked up. Kentwood has always been able to pick up their trash and take it and dump it. I know we can't dump there now, but what are we doing to try to solve this problem? First of all, I would like to for us to get on top of that problem and see what can we do to solve that problem, because we need to clean all this trash and debris up in our town. Another thing is the parks. I think that our parks need to be open. We need to put some money into these parks and get them working, and people are able to use them. I would like to see better communication with our council and mayor, better communication with our council and the employees and the council and the citizens.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Klein. All right, Mr. Lawson, same question. Top priority.
The top priority to me would be to staff the maintenance crew here in town. They are very understaffed. They can't keep up with the problems that's going on. And Russ and all of them are working themselves to death to try to just make it work. And to be able for them to be able to clean the town up or do things that we need to get done, they have to be fully staffed, and they're not. And that's one reason why they have had a lot of problems, getting the stuff. And also the dump truck that they got, it's not designed for trash. It's only designed for dirt, and it needs to be redesigned or taken down there to Kansas someplace to be able to put the right stuff on there to make it work as a dump truck and as a leaf catcher or limb catcher.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Lawson. Ms. Wilkerson, the same question. What do you see as a top priority and why?
A top priority here that I can say that I see is being transparent with our technology. And when I say technology, meaning that we need to make things convenient for all, and all for convenience of saying that is going to help our people, our town workers, and city hall workers, that we are able to access documents, upload things electronically. So people will have the access to keep a trail of what we need. And as we can see, when COVID hit, that the world was in a whirlwind of trying to get things remotely done. And we see that it's going to continue on, and the world or the town is not going to stop. So we can have technology of transparency for all and still be a town of an open door policy, able to come in, but have that access in the palm of our hand to get things done when we're not able to face to face and share things, because we have an issue with people not knowing things. But if we can put it out there for others to see, and we are trying to do that with people such as Miss Carrier and Miss Harrell working a system so people can find out things. But we don't need just two. We need all to adopt that for our city as a use for everyone to be convenient for the town. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Mr. John Williams, same question.
My big thing that I think that needs to be addressed is to find a way to get our water bill lower than what they are, because we live in a town of senior citizens and single mothers, households, and I feel that the senior citizens are on a budget, and I think that if we get the water bill lower, because our senior citizens don't pay their water bill, and they might be lacking something else because they're on a budget, and it might be their medicine. I really feel that we need to try to find a way to make the water bill lower, and we need to get a committee, a board over our recreation department so it can grow. We need a panel that's over that money that's coming in from the tax dollars, and the recreation department will grow. And we need to go to places like Brick and Independent Recreation and ask how they got their board and how they made their park grow. We need to do those things.
All right, thank you. And that completes that round. I'll turn it back over to Mr. Gann.
Okay, great. Thank you, Mr. Tolar. Appreciate it. Mr. Diamond, we'll ask our first question to you. Certainly wanting to ask, are you willing to push for technology upgrades at City Hall? Are you willing to push for technology upgrades at City Hall?
Great question. Thank you, Mr. King. Oh, yes, sir, definitely. And really, this term, and I want to thank our clerk and our mayor for actually, now I came and actually pushing for us to either get iPads or laptops, and we did get those things. All right, and so the next thing that we want to work on, that will be a primary focus for me, is getting our meeting chambers media ready. I think that we can do a much better job at trying to get the necessary cameras and things installed so that people can see our meetings live from the room, in Facebook, a better projector and things like that. So, so I think if we continue to push forward, I'm definitely going to ensure that that's going to be on my list as a priority to ensure that we get those things in City Hall. So, we're the ball is rolling on some of those things. So I know that people can definitely look forward to us enhancing our technology at City Hall.
Okay, thank you so much, Councilman Diamond. Councilman Callahan, same question for you. Are you willing to push for technology upgrades there at City Hall?
Absolutely. I agree with Brother Diamond for everything that he was saying. We also, when we go to these meetings, the yearly, annual, and semi-annual meetings that we go to, we see other technology, and there's lots of it out there that can help the town in many ways, as far as communicating with what's going on, as far as taking your payments, and just giving information out to the people. But he the one he said about the cameras and rigging that, I like that. That wouldn't have been my answer to start with, but I've got to agree with it. It's a great idea.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. And I'll ask another question. I will go back to you, Mr. Callahan. We'll allow you this opportunity. The town wants to know, what are your thoughts on installing water meters? What are your thoughts on installing water meters?
from what I've been told, it's not even my opinion or anything else. Eventually, there will be water meters as they change them out. As far as saving people money and all, you're gonna have your base amount anyway, and then it's so much per gallon. So, I mean, if people are looking at it as a means to really save money, I don't know that that it'll do that. It'll actually cost the town a lot more to put them in. So right now, I would rather just be without them. But it's going to happen one day. It's nothing anybody can do. Anybody on the council, nobody can change it. One day there will be meters. I just hope it's a little while. Probably when we put our new system in, I'm saying a little while. It's going to be quicker than that. We're working on getting the water system changed out. I dare say when they do, we'll be forced to do that anyway.
Thank you, Councilman Callahan. Councilman Diamond, same question posed to you. Your thoughts on water meter installations?
Yes, sir, Mr. Gann. Look, I want to start with this. As being a public administrator, okay, the number one thing that I want to start with on this issue is to, number one, start with the people, okay? I think when we go to making pertinent decisions such as that, I think town hall meetings and things like that would be very beneficial to making this decision. So before I even give an answer, I think the first thing is to do our research. Let's see what the pros and the cons are of having the meters or not having them. So I think number one, let's conduct a study so that when we have our town hall meeting and present this thing, this new thing about the meters that we want to do in our town, let's do a study. Then let's schedule a town hall meeting so the people know what's going on. Because as we've been talking about this entire forum, how are we going to include people and our citizens in our decision making? So that's why I'll start. So I won't even give an answer on that until a study is done to show the cost, what are the pros and cons, and then number two, let's see what the people in the community has to say about it.
Thank you, Councilman. We appreciate each of you for your comments. Mr. Toller, back to you.
Thank you, sir. All right, we're going to move on to a new topic, starting with Ms. Carrier first. Question is, how would you encourage new business to come to Kentwood? How would you encourage new business to come to Kentwood? Ms. Carrier.
Oh, that'd be great. The way I would encourage new business to come to Kentwood, first of all, would come to one of our meetings. So that way you can see who our councilmen are, who our mayor is, and you listen to the things that how they run the board meeting. Also look around, things are coming up. Yeah, we don't have, a McDonald's here yet or whatever, but, there are new businesses that are rolling in already. We have a nail shop here so far. We have a men's clothing store here. We have the pavilion that we're going to be building on Main Street for the farmers market, but not just farmers market. You can use it for other things, it's not just for the farmers market. And I need people to understand that, because that could be utilized for anything. Of course, we have the library coming, but you can't just bank on the library being here. We need more things here to attract people to come. Another thing that you need to do is people that are holding on to these properties that are not doing anything with them. We have to enforce them to it has to be a nuisance. Either they do something with that property or sell it so we can have more business coming in. Because right now, if you look around, what do we have to offer for another business to come in? So I think we need to do something with the property owners of these buildings in order to have more stuff come in. And once we're able to do that, then we can entice people to come into Kentwood. But as of right now, we have really nowhere for a new business to come into Kentwood. If you look around and you see all these properties, there's nowhere. That's it.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Ms. Carrier. Ms. Irma. Ms. Irma, the same question. How would you encourage new business to come to Kentwood?
Well, first of all, to encourage new businesses, I think we have to look at curb appeal. We have to look at how does our town look? Does it look inviting? And those are the things that we need to work on. We have so many abandoned properties that needs to be taken care of. And those things are in the ordinance, and they should be enforced. And businesses, they're going to want to come somewhere where they can make money. And we should do what we need to do to encourage them to want to be here and say, that's the place I need to be. So we need to clean up, first of all, and we need to show that we are really inviting them to come to our town.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Lawson, the same question.
Yeah, we need to start making it presentable and make it where the town is looking good and look like it's progressing, toward the better. And also, we need to have a packet ready so when they come down to City Hall, they don't have to go and find out all the telephone numbers that they need and what orders they have to go through and inspectors. They have to, right now, there's nothing set where you go, they can just go in and get all that information. And to make it easier for them, everybody has to do it on their own. And I would think, them having a package ready, they would be able to do it better and feel more comfortable and do it faster.
All right, thank you, sir. Ms. Wilkerson, the same question. How would you encourage new business to come to Kentwood?
First, I would think that we can start by speaking and talking with local communities and different places to see what they did and see if that could work for us. And make sure that when we bring businesses here to make it more welcoming. And it does start with cleaning up with what we have and trying to make the place where people are welcome to come in and see that this is a place where they can grow and their business can grow here. And also start with our local school system and seeing that things are functioning right in a school system. People will want to come in and start here to see that, okay, it's a good school here. The people here are welcoming. They want to get things done here, so they don't mind starting a business here and knowing that they can stay, because a problem seems to be that our businesses can't stay. So, and they can talk to other businesses and say, hey, this is a town you can go to. People want to see things here, and get a survey of what people will want to see in this town to grow it, and a business here that will work for all. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Mr. John Williams.
I agree with everything they said, and I feel that you can put a committee together to go out and try to get businesses to come. Maybe one person or three people, just have a committee put together. That's their job, to go out and try to entice businesses to come here.
All right, thank you, sir. Mr. Michael Hall.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. And again, I don't want to sound like I'm the one that has all the answers, but having the opportunity to serve in the capacity as a council member that did researches on prospective business coming here, I learned that most of the things that Ms. Career says and Mr. Williams Larson saying is already there in the City Hall. We do have properties here available for new vendors, and we just need to sell Kentwood. And I agree with everything that has been said, that yes, we must start with beautification. And when businesses come, they think about bringing their families. They want to know where our school ranks, how our schools is, how the whole school district is. So it's a lot to offer. And they're at the City Hall with prospective businesses as experience would come if any of us is elected again, elected, should I say. There are packages that the city government can offer to prospective businesses. It's just that I would continue to go out as I did before. I seek vendors, I get the contact numbers, I bring it back to the mayor. Because let's face it, any business that's coming to our town, they don't want to talk to the council. They want to talk to the mayor first. And once them and the mayor come to some kind of agreement to where the mayor brings it back to the board, and the board agrees with what the mayor or disagrees, either way, then they begin to bring the council involved, because most businesses do not like to come spread their intentions until they're sure they're going to be able to complete what they want. And that's about completing, I mean, build a businesses, be able to open it, be able to
All
get
right.
some kind of release from city government.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Hall. We're out of time on that one, but good answer. All right.
All right.
And I'm going to move back to Mr. Ginn, let him ask some of the incumbents.
Thank you, Mr. Toller. Starting with Councilman Callahan, question would be, given the current situation there at Kentwood Maintenance Department, we know that it's understaffed. What would be your plans to rebuild the department with qualified personnel?
Good question. That's exactly what I want to do. We need to find new people and more people qualified to be able to operate the machinery that can learn. But we definitely need to have it open and get the applications out to see who's available. We've got equipment that we're using. We could upgrade equipment, trucks and all. But the main thing we need right now is people, and good people. And the only way to do that is just to recruit them and be able to pay the people what they're worth. I've always believed in that. You can't get really good help if you're not paying them.
Thank you so much. Councilman Diamond, same question posed to you. The town of Kentwood's maintenance department, as we know, is understaffed. What would be your plans to rebuild that department with qualified personnel, given its current situation?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Ginn. Man, that's an awesome question. Number one, I think the first thing that we need to do is, number one, identify the exact needs of our department. That's number one. Let's look at and see what do our department need to operate at maximum efficiency to meet the needs of our citizens. Once we've done that, we can then move forward to devise a plan to address the needs of the department. Then after that, what I would do, I think we need to look at departmentalizing, okay? We have grass, we have water, all those things, and that will help us come up with the correct number of employees that we need for our maintenance department. Then after that, I think that we need to establish a training program with stipulations. In other words, let's have it in writing. Hey, if the town does train you, you must stay with the town for X amount of years. So I think that we need to have a very clear process of how it is going to look once someone is hired. If they are not certified, what are we going to do to certify them? So I think once we do that, identify the needs of the department, then I think we can bring all of our heads together to see what do we need and how many employees will we need. And I think that's the question I'm going to have coming soon for our department. What do the department need to ensure that we're operating at maximum efficiency for the citizens in this town? And after that, let's see how we can bring people in. We need to advertise better. So there are a ton of things. I know I'm about to run out of time, but there are a ton of things that we can do to attract the best. We just got to start doing it.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm going to come right back to you, Councilman Diamond, with another question. Is how much time do you estimate you have spent annually involving yourself and getting to know the financial operations that sustain the town of Kentwood through the clerk's better understanding, whether it be revenues that are used for budget preparation, things of that nature? Just how much time do you estimate that you've spent annually being involved in these type financial operations to sustain the town in budget preparation?
Doc, that's such a good question. Even so much I remember one meeting, and I'll say this and kind of laugh about it. My council members told me we don't have all night to be here. So I've been that much involved, and I've spent this. I spent this term studying budgeting, how to look at that. I went and even have my master's degree now in public administration, and we even studied budget, how it is supposed to work. And one thing I stress all the time is that we have to take more time doing that. The clerk would tell you, the mayor would tell you that our Councilman Diamond have a lot of questions in pertaining to our budget. And when I ask those questions, I have been well informed on how those things work. So just going forward with whatever council members who are elected, I definitely want to encourage them. Let's take a little more time, because I do personally looking into those things and how our town is spending money. We need to know at all times what's going in and what's going out, because let's be real, the mayor cannot do it all on his own. So I think we definitely need to going forward holistically spend a lot of more time in looking at our budget and see how we can make better decisions when it comes to spending with the fiscal budget.
Okay, thank you, Councilman Diamond. Councilman Callahan, same question posed to you. I'll repeat it because it is a long one. How much time do you estimate you have spent annually involving yourself in getting to know the financial operations that sustain the town of Kentwood through its clerks and getting a better understanding of revenues and or budget preparation?
Well, I graduated from college with a BA in marketing and business management. And I do pay close attention to the budget and all. I do read it every month when it comes out and study it an hour or two. Sometimes it takes a minute. There's a lot of stuff in there. I've also met with our accountant a number of times going over things to get clarifications. But if you're looking for a number, an hour number, 30 or 40 hours maybe in a year.
Okay, thank you so much, Councilman Callahan. Mr. Toller, we'll give it back to you.
All right, thank you. And we're going to begin with Ms. Klein on this question. Ms. Klein, do you think it's fair that a family of 2 will pay the same amount for water as a family of 10?
Well, I realize that some of our seniors have hardships. So I don't think you can go by the number of family members, because there could be a water leak and there could be one member, and they might use more water than a person with 3 family members. So I really think it has to be a flat rate. But I would love to see that it's more affordable for our seniors. And I know that would have to be for everyone. I'm very sympathetic with that, but no, I don't think we should go by the number of family members.
All right, Mr. Lawson, the same question. Do you think it's fair for a family of 2 to pay the same amount for water as a family of 10?
Well, right now, we don't really have any real way to figure out how many people are in the household. You could assume that there's 10 and you assume that there's 2. But the only way to be able to make it fair on that you would have to get a meter, and that's going to be later on down the road. But right now, everybody pretty much is on the same line, and we all have to accept it, whether it's fair like that or not.
Okay, Ms. Wilkerson, same question. Do you think it's fair for a family of 2 to pay the same amount for water as a family of 10?
What I would say when it comes down to the size of a family, I believe that we should just make it affordable for all, no matter if it's a size of 2, 10, 5, or whatever. Look at a scale and come up with an agreement that would be fair for all. Thank you. And affordable.
Okay. All right, Mr. Williams.
Repeat the question.
Yeah, do you think it's fair for a family of 2 to pay the same amount for water as a family of 10?
No, it's not fair. I don't think it is. That's just like business-wise. A restaurant and a clothes store. A clothes store shouldn't have to pay the same amount that the restaurant pay, because the restaurant use more water. The clothes store might not use water, but in nothing but the toilet. So I don't think it's fair. And one day we're gonna have to figure it out. We're gonna have to figure this out, because a family of 2 is not gonna use the same amount of water as a family of 10, but they're gonna pay the same price.
All right.
So I don't think it's fair.
All right, thanks, sir. Mr. Michael Hall.
Yes, sir. Well, that's a kind of iffy question, but as you know, our water bill is not gauged on how many people in a household, or whether I let my water hose run all night or you never hardly use yours. One thing that the town of Kentwood is blessed with, we're probably paying the lowest water bill throughout the parish. So, and I'm one totally against water meters. I'll say that on the record, but I'm also mindful enough that things are changing. But right now, no, I don't think that's a bigger issue. And I understand that we have senior citizens, we have single parents, but we are blessed. We just have a flat rate water bill. It don't matter how much you use, whether you're 10 or 2. So I would have to say, I don't think that they should just pay a flat rate as we've been for as long as I can make. Now, I do agree that the bill as goes now is kind of steep, but it's still cheaper, probably the cheapest in the parish.
All right, thank you, sir. Ms. Carrier, same question.
Well, this is a really good question. It's kind of hard to answer because after listening to Mr. Michael Hall, William Lawson, and Mr. John Williams, I have to agree with them. Number one, no, I don't think it's fair. Number two, yeah, we do not have meters, so you can't justify how many people are living in a house to say, hey, you get to pay $50 and you pay $200. You know, we can't do that. But I also don't know what other towns are paying if they're metered or a flat rate. And you know, we had a flat rate at one time, which was at $55, and it surprisingly went up to $94 right around Christmas time without notice. No resident had noticed that we were going to be getting an increase. So the question is, if we get an increase, we're at $94 right now. If we go up to an increase, that's going to be another shocker that the residents are not going to be able to afford. So me personally, I mean, I'm in a family of 3. I would think maybe meters would be a way to go. That way people would, you know, not use so much water. And then again, we have water leaks all over town too. So, I mean, that would probably come into play to maybe we can get all that fixed. But it's a lot to think about. You know, everybody's different. Every family's different. But honestly, no, I do not think it's fair. Thanks.
Okay, great round. I think I hit everybody in that round. I'll turn it back over to Mr. Ginn.
Okay, great, thank you. Considering time, Ms. Harrell, you give me some advice on this. I'm considering 2 more questions here and then possibly entering closing statements.
What I announced that we would go at least to 8:20, because we have some very important questions and we have so many candidates. And if we can keep within the time limit of those 2 limits, that would really help us a lot.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you for that information.
Mm-hmm.
Moving forward, we'll start with Mr. Diamond. The question posed here, it's a very important question that was sent in from the community, is that being that it is re-election time, does it mean that your integrity to the laws that govern the town should waver? Being that it is re-election time, does that mean that your integrity to the laws that govern the town should waver?
I think if I'm understanding correctly, at no point, Mr. Again, can you restate that one more time?
Yes, sir. Being that it is re-election time, your 4-year term is coming to an end, does that mean that your integrity to the laws that govern the town of Kentwood should waver?
Yeah, okay, I got it. Thank you. Look, at no point should the laws waver. My integrity stands whether I'm in office, whether I'm out of office, whatever the case may be, reelected or not reelected. My integrity stands. And as I will continue to say, if you got a question about that, if you're not sure to take my answer, you can ask community or check the record. So no, definitely not. It should never waver for me nor for anybody.
Thank you so much, Councilman Diamond. Councilman Callahan, same question.
Yeah, absolutely not. You go by the rules no matter what. I was raised like that. I'm straight up. I'm going to do things right. My daddy taught me, don't do nothing wrong. And if you do something wrong, don't lie about it. If you did, you get tore up. And that's the way I was raised. I'm not going to do anything wrong. And I expect the people to go by the rules. We've got rules. Everybody must go by the rules, period.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Councilman Callahan will ask a second question to you. If you were to rank yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 on honesty, trust, and ethical values, what number would you give yourself and why? Unmute yourself. I'm sorry. Okay.
I want to say 10, but I don't know if anybody's that perfect. But I would say right up at the top. And you're saying and why? It's kind of what I've said already. You stand up to what you do the right thing. You don't take advantage of people. You go by the rules, and that's as simple as that.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr.
Yes,
Callahan, for your answer. Councilman Diamond, same question.
Yes, sir. Look, I can say not only as a elected official, but just as a person. Of course, we're all striving to become better each and every day in all that we do. But I would say, for the sake of this office, I would say a 10. And on top of that, I'm gonna end it with this: my character and who I am. My character speaks for itself. So I would say that who you see, that's who I am 24/7. A genuine person, a fighter for change, and that's what I will continue to be. So I give the 10.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Mr. Toler.
Back at you, Tom, Mr. Tolar. I think he's muted.
Sorry, I was muted. Yeah, I just want to, we've already had this question from the incumbents, but I want to give the new faces a chance to get their 2 cents in on this. The town of Kentwood Maintenance Department is definitely understaffed. What would be your plans to rebuild the department with qualified personnel? And we're going to be starting with Mr. Lawson. How can we rebuild our maintenance department? Go ahead.
Well, first, you got to make it inviting for new people wanting to come in. You got to give them, you got to give them raises. But in fact, in order to be able to give them raises, you got to give the ones that's already on their raises also. And also, they need to be qualified. They just can't. I do know that some of the equipment can't be used because they're not certified. They don't have the correct CDL driver's license. So most of it, they need to be qualified, and we need to make it competitive to the rates that other places are being offered. With the same the same staff.
All right, thank you, sir. Ms. Wilkerson, you're up next.
One way to build our maintenance department is offer, I wouldn't just say we could use a raise. We have to look at what we can offer in our town, but a way is to help people become certified and maybe offer a bonus for our city workers. And another way to build our maintenance department, I noticed that we have a lot of young people that are looking for jobs, and we even have students that are out of school a half a day. Maybe we can even get our youth that are 18 involved by allowing them to come in and work those hours so that they could be part-time workers. So we don't have to also just look at our budget when we can bring in those part-time people to come in and help grow and allow those younger people to learn how the maintenance department work. And that will give them an outlet to look for a future job. So bring ideas and incentives to get people on board to see that they can work and look at this as a job and see that this can be a long-time job where they can retire from and offer things that catch them. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Mr. John Williams, same question.
I agree with everything everyone's saying. And I work for the Tangipahoa Parish Government Road and Bridge. And we have in the last year been working with express work enforcement where that people go there and they send them out on jobs. And if my understanding, they have a grant that they could get people involved in workforce, and we can go talk to the Tangipahoa Parish government, the parish president, and see how they are doing it and implement it in Kentwood. And that way you can find the qualified people that you're trying to find.
All right, thank you, sir. Mr. Michael Hall, same question.
Yes, sir. Yeah, Mr. Williams, you took one of my items there, and I was glad to hear you say that because being dealing through the maintenance department down there, that is a great idea about the temporary service. But my first thing I would like to do is sit down with the director, the mayor, and just brainstorm with the superintendent. See what ideas that he has that he would like to see, And like I said, Ms. Wilkerson used some good things. We used to have a summer program to where we got the kids to come down and work. But if we're going to take care of the shortage problem, we're going to have to get out and as Mr. Williams said, the temporary service would probably be the most quickest fix for this problem here, because you're not going to, if you go out and research, try to find qualified people, they're going to look at the pay that they can get from Kentwood and what they can get from Main Meat. It happens all the time. We get workers here in Kentwood and they get off of better pay, and you can't fault them for taking more money to do more for their families. And yes, we can make the salaries compatible, but we won't be able to pay them, say the parish, what the parish pay them. So I think that's a good point that Mr. Williams made. And I just keep saying that because most jobs throughout our parish and throughout the state now is going to the temporary job services. And you do have those people qualified to come in and help them. So I think that would be a quick solution.
All right, thank you, Mr. Hall. Ms. Carrier, same question. Rebuilding, how do we rebuild our department with qualified personnel?
Well, I have to agree with Mr. John Williams as well, and also my colleagues too. Finding qualified workers will be the toughest job that we would have to do. Finding people. Yeah, we can have the youth come in and have the summer program, and they could pick up litter and cut grass. But what we really need is somebody who could drive these trucks, who could drive this equipment, who knows how to fix leaks, who knows how to, get down in the ditch and knows what's what in trying to fix a leak. That's the problem that we're having, is finding people who know how to do the job. Now, how do we find these people? I have no idea. As Mr. Williams said, sit down with other members of other towns and see how and they're probably having the same problem because, they're probably shortage on workers too. It's not just us, but actually sit down and just talk to other people, see how they're handling the situation and how we can make it best for Kentwood. Because, and yeah, we can offer raises, but, we have to work with what we have and entice people some type of way to come to Kentwood to help us.
All right, thank you. Ms. Irma Klein. Go ahead and unmute, Ms. Irma.
First, I think that we would need to advertise these jobs, and we're going to have to be able to pay them what our neighboring municipalities are paying, because like you say, they're going to go where they can get more money. So we're going to have to be able to pay what it takes to get these people. And that's a big problem because we need people to operate equipment. That's our main problem. And like you say, that's gonna be, it's hard finding those people. And I think that we would have to advertise and communicate with our neighboring municipalities with their maintenance supervisor or whatever.
Okay, thank you. Good round. I think that's everybody on that round. I'll go back to Mr. Ginn.
Thank you, Mr. Toler. We appreciate it. We'll start here with Councilman Diamond. Question, if you are employed full-time, how can you attend town business affairs with the working business hours?
You have to unmute. There you go.
Gotcha. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Ginn. I think what that is, as far as doing normal business hours, that is a tough thing to do for any person who is working a full-time job and also in a part-time role as a council member. But what I can say is there is a solution to that, as I mentioned before, to keep us abreast on the things that's happening. And you know, my job does not affect me in such a way that I cannot think, that I cannot respond, and that I cannot see to the things that need to be done. So immediately after that, anything that comes up, hey, I'm automatically thinking of solutions to help in all the areas that our town is in need of. So although that is the case, but it has not in any way hindered me. And as I always tell the mayor and the councilmen who can, look, once that meeting is over, let us know. Send a follow-up email about these things so that we can also know, the ones who cannot be there, what's going on. And immediately I'll get my thinking cap on to give my sense of my opinion about what we need to do to create solutions to those problems that are at hand. But it has in no way affected me, and it will not.
Thank you, Councilman Diamond. Councilman Callahan, same question.
Yes, sir. I've been a businessman all my life. I've got to the point now to where I work sometimes 2 or 3, sometimes 4 hours a day. I'm pretty much semi-retired. Can take off anytime. I set my own schedule. We do help the girls down at City Hall, the clerks, when there's a problem down there. If they need to have checks signed or something when nobody else is around, I'm one of the designated check signers. I can leave what I'm doing at any time and run down there and take care of that. Or if there's anything else that comes up, I could do that also. But I am totally available by phone at all times, and I can be at City Hall at pretty much a moment's notice.
Okay, thank you so much. We appreciate that. While we have you here, we'll go back to Mr. Diamond for another question. Mr. Diamond, how would you encourage new businesses to come to Kentwood?
I love it. Great question. For me, it's very simple, a very simple response. And number one, to encourage them is to go to the table. So I think that Kentwood has enough municipalities who are in close proximity, all right, and some who are far, to have started where we are, and they have seen success. So I think that we got to stop sitting and waiting for people to come to us, and let's try to go to the people. So I think that's what we need to do going forward. Let's go to the table. A lot of time it's where the business won't come. Why won't they come? Let's conduct a study. Let's hire the necessary firms and people who this is their job to do that. And I think what all of our, even our candidates, as well as Incumbent Callahan, have also addressed as well, is that we need to continue to do what we can as a community to ensure that our streets are clean, right? Beautification is top notch. And also too, we have to simply find ways to let business owners and people who want to come in know what's here in Kentwood and what's available. So there's property, things like that. So social media, Ms. Carrier, along with Ms. Harrell, are advertising some of those things. So I think that's a good way. But I'm all for going to the table. And I'm the kind of person, I don't quit. I'm very persistent. And I think that we got to continue to be persistent at getting these businesses here in the town of Kentwood. So let's go to the table.
Thank you, Councilman Diamond. Councilman Callahan, same question. How would you encourage new businesses to come to the town of Kentwood?
You can tell Mr. Diamond and I sit next to each other in the meetings because we think just alike. But we can show them also that there are some businesses there that have started right in the pandemic. The little wagon wheel shop that they had, dress shop, 51 Nutrition, Mr. Michael Poole, they made it through that somehow and people supported them enough to keep them in business. We have other places down there. We have a lot to offer as far as locations. We're starting to develop some. Again, back to Mr. Hayes, he's got a really good start on it. We've got the property across the street is sold, big building where the Simmons department store was. We've got another drugstore coming in out there by the Sullivan's grocery store. I'm mixing all my names up, but we've got stuff going on, and that once you start, you have to stay on it, and that's what we're trying to do. Recruit new businesses, see what we need, and get them to come in. We also have a big place out by the interstate, one of the corners out there where I think it was called a Kangaroo at one time. Big corner lot. If we could bring somebody in there, that would be huge for us. We've got the pilot truck stop that's starting to that'll be starting to develop next year after the first of the year. Possibly even come in with the hotel. If we get a hotel, Holiday Inn Select, something like that, that's going to be a huge bonus for us. And it's just going to grow. The harder we're working hard at it, we need to keep the community involvement. We got to keep unity. We got to keep the town clean. All of that together. We do all that, and we're on the right track.
Thank you, Mr. Callahan. We appreciate you too. Mr. Tolar, back to you.
Yeah, this is probably going to be my last question probably. So I want to make sure that I get this one in. And we're going to be starting this time with Ms. Wilkerson. The question is, would you vote for or against an ordinance that would require you to spend a certain number of hours available to the public in a dedicated location in Kentwood, and why? That's a long one, so let me say it again real quick. Would you vote for or against an ordinance that would require you to spend a certain number of hours available to the public in a dedicated location in Kentwood? Ms. Wilkerson.
Yes, I would vote for ordinance in such matter, because if I'm a person here, if I'm an elected official, I'm supposed to be able to give my time. I'm supposed to be able to serve the people. And that is a part of my job duties, is to make the time, even if I'm not available, to do the best that I can for the people, because this is a town I live in, where I'm at. So yes, I would vote for it.
Okay. Mr. John Williams. You got to, there you go.
Okay. I don't understand the question. Say it again.
Yeah, would you vote for or against an ordinance that would require you to spend a certain number of hours available to the public in a dedicated location in Kentwood, and why?
Yes, I would vote for it because I do it now. In the summertime, I leave my job at 3:30 and I don't get to my house till like 9 o'clock at night. So I already does it with my baseball team, so it wouldn't be a problem for me.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Michael Hall.
Yes, sir. Well, if you is available, as I stated earlier on in the form, then it shouldn't necessarily have to come to an ordinance to make yourself be available at any part of the community. So, I mean, I guess the answer that I would say, I would be for it, but it should not have to come to the case of making it an ordinance, because when you become a public servant, that is a 24/7 job.
Okay. Ms. Carrier, same question.
Yeah, I agree with my call on that one. Yeah, if I am elected, I know that it is 24/7. People know where I live. They have my phone number. Life does happen with me. I do have a child. I would not, life happens. If I wouldn't be able to make it at a certain time for a certain amount of hours, how's that going to look on me because I voted for this or that. So yeah, I would say no, I would not vote on that.
Okay, Ms. Irma Klein.
Would I vote for ordinance that require?
Yes, vote for an ordinance that would require you to spend a certain number of hours available to the public in a dedicated location.
I don't have a problem with voting for it. I don't really think that it should have to be an ordinance, because if we are running for council and for public office, we should be available whenever we are needed and for whatever we are needed to help our town.
Okay, and Mr. Lawson, same question. Oh, do I still have Mr. Lawson?
We lost him. I think we lost him.
All right. Then I will kick it back to either to Ms. Harrell or Mr. Ginn.
Mr. Ginn and Mr. Tolar, there was one question that one of the voters really wanted you all to ask, and that was the question they sent in about the 100% insurance question to each of the candidates, that is the incumbents as well as those that seeking the seat.
Okay, I do not
seeing that one.
I
don't see that one either.
Let me check the email for one moment. All for the sake of time, if you have it, Miss Antoinette, if you wouldn't mind answering it, asking the question for us.
Yes, give me 1 minute, please. The question was, I would have to pull up my email. Give me 1 second. This is a very important question that
and you said it involved 100% insurance?
Yes.
I don't have that one.
You don't have that question. Okay, give me 1 minute.
While she's looking at that, I would like to just tell everybody that's participating tonight, congratulations on doing this. I applaud you for your will and your desire to run for office, to seek re-election and to run for new office. And I also want to congratulate and applaud Ms. Harrell and Mr. George and Ms. Ginn for participating and putting this together, because we need more people that are involved in our community. And you're stepping up to the plate. So congratulations. My hat's off to each and every one of you.
Thank you, Mr. Ginn and Mr. Tolar, for that. And we want to thank you all too, both of you, for being moderators for this afternoon. And I would like to thank each one of the candidates for participating in this forum. The last question was, would you vote for, if it came up on the table, 100% insurance coverage, or would you vote to reduce it if necessary?
Okay. Could you repeat that question one more time, and I'll go down the list and call the names to who can answer it.
If it is presented before you, concerning the 100% insurance coverage, if there was an opportunity to drop that 100% to 80%, would you vote for it?
Okay, and then we
Mr.
left
Tolar, before you begin with those people, we want to be clear that this is in regards to, because I remember this last moderation, this is in regards to the staff of Town Hall. Paying for 100% of their insurance coverage, just for the candidates may know what we're discussing.
Okay, very good clarification. And we will pick up with Mr. John Williams. You'll be the first one to ask it. We'll go down through all the candidates and then we'll switch over and do the two incumbents.
Is that for the employees of the town or the
correct?
And the council too?
The employees of the correct.
For the council too?
Correct.
For the employees, I would say I wouldn't vote against the employees, but for councilmen that's part-time workers, I would be against them getting 100% insurance paid by the town because you are a part-time employee. So I'm against 100% paying your insurance for 100%. I work for the Kentwood Parish government, and they pay 80%, and I pay 20%, and I'm a full-time employee, and I have to pay 20% of my insurance. So I have a problem with a part-time worker getting 100% of their insurance paid. And my understanding is that their spouse gets 75% of their insurance paid. I have a problem with a part-time worker getting that kind of incentive.
All right, Mr. Hall, same question.
Yes, sir. A sticky question there, sir. But as always, I don't dodge any question, and I answer it. There ain't but one way to do things, and that's right. As I was pondering it, I would have first said I would vote for it, but hearing some of Mr. Williams come in again, it's something to look at because the workers full time, yes, that's a yes. I don't have a problem with that. But with the council members being a part time, I've always had issues with that. Matter of fact, I'll just be on the record saying I had issues with the total 100% because as you know, most municipalities only pay 80 to possibly 90%. And I'm not quite sure that the 75% is correct on your spouse right now. But no, I just think that's something that possibly should be looked into and then going into the next administration. I don't have a problem with the employees, full-time employees being 100%, but it's something that I would be interested in looking into for the council member. And once you say council members, you're going to go to getting into some more part-time employees.
All right. All
Did
right.
that
And then
answer your question?
Yes, Ms. Carrier, same question.
Okay. First off, I've never worked for a company that paid 100% of my insurance. Therefore, I do not think that it should be 100% coverage. I pay 80. I pay my percentage that I pay. And you think about that. How much money is that coming out of every month? How much money is that going to? That could be money that we can use in some other department, like our maintenance department. But all in all, that's something to look at. How much money is being spent on full-time 100% coverage? And yeah, I would definitely, if it came across the table, then yeah, I would definitely vote 80-20.
Okay.
For the point here, I was told $360,000 a year.
$360,000 a year? Wow, that's a lot. Thank you for sharing that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ms. Arma, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
Ms. Arma Klein, same question.
Repeat your question.
It goes back to the whether or not you would support paying 100% of the insurance for the employees and the council members, or 80%, if I had that correct, Antoinette.
Well, I think we should maybe do a study and compare it with the other municipalities in our area. But as far as the council, which is not full-time, I'm definitely saying that it shouldn't be 100%. But the employees, we should look at our pay compared to other municipalities, what they're paying the employees, as well as what percentage insurance they're paying. So if that's what they're doing, I would vote for the employees, but the council, I don't think that should be 100%.
Okay, Ms. Wilkerson, same question.
Yes, as a school teacher, I can say no, my insurance is not covered by 100%. So as a part-time worker, as a city member, no, I think it could be brought to the table to have it reduced for a council member. If I'm handling part-time duties, I don't mind it being cut down, and that would to benefit our town as well and help with our budget if we can cut that down from 100. And as a full-time employee, that is fine because they are full-time staff if they had that as 100%. So no, I think it should be reduced for a city council member.
Okay. And back to you, Mr. Ginn.
Thank you so much, Mr. Toller. We're going to go to our incumbents. We'll start with Councilman Callahan. And the question at hand is simply, are you for or against the employees of the city being paid, that 100% of their insurance being paid, or would you be for a reduction there?
Yeah, most of them that are working there, that's part of their pay as far as I'm concerned. But on the other hand, nobody does that but Kentwood. Most everybody else put this 80%. If we could maybe soften it up a little bit, because these people, they're paid a certain amount, they're budgeted for that. When you add that into the pay that some of them are getting, they're not going to be getting much money. So I would have to take a real hard look at it. Council people, no, I don't need, we don't need to do 100% for us by no means.
Thank you so much. Councilman Diamond. You still there with us, Councilman? Thank you. You're muted. You're muted. I'm sorry.
All right.
Up, you hit it twice.
All right, are we good now?
All right, we're good to go. Yes, sir.
All right, let me first go on the record saying, if it needs to be done, I have no issue with that, okay? But the concern I have when you talk about cutting something in the budget, the first question is, what is it hindering the town from doing, okay? So if we are doing that, and I can say, since I've been in which this has been in place way before my time, okay? We have given raises. The town is, I would say, is in, when you talk about the municipality, we are in a much, better state. So, I mean, when you really look at it, is this a topic of discussion because it's a personal opinion about what needs to be done, or has a study been conducted that is showing that it's a financial strain on the town? Because truly, it has came up before, but nobody has came and said, well, the town can't do X, Y, and Z because we're paying 100% of employees' insurance. So what I want to know is, if it is a problem, let's state what the problem is, and then I think we can go and look at the budget to see not only this area, because there are a whole lot of areas aside from insurance that need to be looked at that we can make some necessary changes. So I mean, if it is an issue, I have no problem with it. But if we can do the best for our employees all across the board, why not continue to do that? But if it ever becomes a problem and we need to make those changes, I'm for it. But to my understanding right now, the last year or so, we've given raises, we have purchased things, the town is doing better. So if there's no financial strain on it, I'm for doing the best for all of our employees across the municipality. And again, if it ever comes to it where we need to cut it because of financial strain, I will do so. But if we can do the best, why not continue to do the best for all of our employees?
Okay, thank you so much, Councilman, for your response to that question. Certainly, we have enjoyed everyone's answers tonight for all that you've done for us. We want to give a special appreciation and thanks to the Friends of Kentwood, to Mr. George Hayes, to Mr. Tom Tolar, for being able to host and to be able to moderate for us tonight. To the candidates, both incumbent and those who are running in this election, we want you to know that your attendance here tonight is greatly appreciated. The town is really thankful for you taking time out of your busy schedules to be able to participate in this. To some, it may seem minute, but it is actually a very important thing that you've done today and on this evening. On behalf of Ms. Antoinette Harrell and everyone that is involved, I'd like to say thank you once again. And we certainly hope and pray that everyone has a great evening. If you want, you can start saying some goodbyes. We'll start with our incumbents, if you please. Mr. Callahan.
Yeah, we appreciate everything y'all did. And I wish I could answer the questions that the other people were getting answered too. That, I mean, it was still all right, but I would love to have been able to have a say so in all of it, because there's a lot of good questions, and I think that they applied to us just as well. But no, great job. Appreciate y'all, and yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Councilman Diamond.
Thank you, Mr. Rail, to all of the other moderators. When she reached out to me, I just got completely excited about it because I have a love and a passion for doing this. And most importantly, to the community, those who are on, if you want somebody who is going to continue to fight for you, who is a fighter for change, look, Xavier Diamond is the person. So I look forward to continue working with this town. And truly, if we just continue to stick together, the town of Kentwood is definitely going for it. So thanks to all of you and good to all the candidates.
Thank you so much, Councilman Diamond. Ms. Carrier.
Hi, I just want to thank you guys as well. This was great and very informative, not just for me, but for the people as well. And getting to hear different ideas and how each one of us think. When pretty much we're all on the same board, we want the best for Kentwood is what we want. I ask that, if you need anything or have any questions, you feel that you reach out to me and ask me anything, I'll be glad to help you and try to answer as many questions as I could. Just to remind everybody, I would like to tell everyone that I live by the four-way test, which is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendship? And will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you. Y'all have a good night.
Thank you. Ms. Wilkerson.
First, I would like to say thank you to Ms. Farrell and even that put this virtual forum together tonight. I would proudly serve as a city council member, and I want to be a part of helping my community grow, where I've spent most of my life, say my entire life, reach higher success. So that's what I plan to do. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Williams.
I want to thank Miss Antoinette for giving me the thing to get on this. I almost missed it, and I'm glad I didn't. I want to thank you, and I want to thank the moderators because it was some good questions asked, and people gave good answers. And I want to thank y'all for letting me be a part of this.
Thank you so much, Mr. Williams. Ms. Klein, Ms. Armour.
I would like to thank Ms. Sorrell and both of our moderators, well, all of the people that work to do this and bring this to us and to our citizens. And I'm honored to be your councilwoman. If you elect me, I will do my best to do a good job. And I thank you for this opportunity, and good evening.
Good evening. Mr. Hall.
Yes, I want to say thanks to all the ones that put this on. It's truly been an honor of mine. And as anyone that knows Michael Hall, I will certainly pass up the opportunity to talk. And I also want to take the time to wish all the candidates the best possible. Either way it goes, Kentwood is going to have some good representation. I just hope that the people think about Mike Hall, number 93 on the ballot, and may God bless each and every one of you.
All right, wonderful, thank you. I believe that is everyone. Just want to be sure I hadn't missed anyone. Okay, well, certainly everyone have a great evening, and there may be other events and forums soon. Continue to check with Mr. George Hayes and Ms. Antoinette Harrell on Friends of Kentwood. God bless each of you, and have